Hello again. Welcome back to the Flyin in Style podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, back with my co-host, as always, Stephen Masley.
What's up, girls and boys?
That was smooth. We are officially in week 15, and the Eagles are 13-1. Once again, same old best team in the NFL, and they just absolutely dogged the Giants this past week. So let's jump right into that and get our thoughts out about that. So let's hear it, Maz. What do you think of the game?
Well, first off, not to be a butthole, but it's 12-1. But
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
You should have corrected me sooner.
We dominated this game. Absolutely. Like, I couldn't ask for anything better out of this game. Go 21-0 very early. Boston Scott getting a touchdown, owning the Giants still. I just everyone played well on the team. I just really don't have any complaints other than that we are too good. Honestly, it makes me feel really good that we dominated them every aspect of the ball. And I don't have any complaints. And for my first time, honestly, not having complaints about a game.
Yeah, this really was by far their most complete game by a long shot. I mean, they did everything on all sides of the balls. Like on defense, they had 6 sacks, I believe.
That's 7, but yeah, either way.
7. My apologies. I'm off with my stats right now.
No.
Forgive me. It's
okay.
Yeah. So the Eagles had 7 sacks. They were playing well on all fronts. They held Saquon Barkley to, I believe, only 29 yards. He had so few yards that he's not even the leading rusher for their team.
Fantastic.
We did everything that we needed to do. We stopped the run game. We made Daniel Jones try to beat us, which he clearly couldn't do. Our offense was stellar through and through. They could not stop the run. And the one thing that we need to point out the most is the offensive line, 100%. I mean, that was the most dominant performance from an offensive line in the NFL I think I've ever seen, let alone like they were blocking so well this game on all fronts. The pull blocks, the seals, the reach blocks, they were getting everything like to precision. And the holes Miles Sanders was running through were massive. And, the fact that he put up his career high in yards on 17 carries is absolutely crazy.
No, it was a perfect game through and through. It just made it that much better. That was a rival of ours.
Agreed.
And it just I mean, I was there, and Matt, when I tell you when I'm walking in to the stadium, I hear like cheers, and I'm just like, oh, I'm tap my friend Brendan. I'm like, like they might have done something good. Dude, we scored the first touchdown, and as I'm walking in, and I'm like, there's so many Eagles fans there, Matt. Like I can't tell you enough about how many Eagles fans traveled there. And I was like, I felt like it was like not a home game because obviously the link's way better. That stadium is stupid.
No kidding.
I couldn't find my seat, but it was just like the atmosphere there it was amazing. When Philly's good, we are definitely the best fan base ever to like exist.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Our team, our fans are just passionate, like I wouldn't say just passionate because we kind of stink sometimes, but
we stink.
But for the most part, Philly fans are just really freaking passionate. If we're losing, if we're winning, they're gonna pour the exact same energy into the team, and it's either really beneficial or really, a killer. When we're doing bad and we're pouring absolutely terrible energy into the team and making them feel like crapheads for it, like that stinks. But when we're good, we pour that exact same energy into being good, and they feed off of it. And that's where we're at right now. And they're just going to keep feeding off the energy if we keep it up. And, that's why having home field advantage in the playoffs is going to be huge.
100%.
I mean,
I get it.
The last time we had home field advantage, obviously we won the Super Bowl. And we saw how crazy difference that made. Like that game at the Link against the Vikings, that was one of the highest energy games ever played in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And, really you only got to play 2 games in the playoffs at home for that to happen. So, or you got to win 1. So, and then you're there at home for the championship game for the NFC. So, we got to make sure that, we don't get too high and mighty here and start to get a little lax because we still need to lock up that 1 seed. It is not locked up yet. I'm not sure exactly how many more wins we need to actually lock it. I feel like mathematically it would make sense if we win the next 2 that we would have it locked, but I'm not 100% sure.
So, I mean, we had the tiebreaker over the Vikings, right?
And yeah, we would have to beat the Cowboys again and take the tiebreaker over them as well.
Yeah. So there's 4 games left. So we could lose 2. I mean, honestly, we could lose. Yeah,
That's what I mean. I think if we beat the Cowboys and win our next 2, then we lock it up. I'm pretty sure.
So, I mean, I know we're not talking a lot about the Giants game this episode, and it's very fair. I mean, it just we have nothing else to say other than we're so happy.
Yeah, they did everything great. Like they really just didn't give a lot to talk about.
It was a little bit too good. I mean, I don't. It just made me so happy that, but my problem is about going into the Bears is everyone, their mother is looking forward to Christmas Eve about this Dallas game. But the only thing that's making me positive, Matt, is only our Lord and Savior, not Jesus Christ, that's my Lord and Savior, but Jalen Hurts is just a king in interviews, on the field. This man, when asked about, because Micah Parsons, I don't know how to say his name right because I hate him. During an interview, was saying, obviously you heard the interview, you did, but for anyone else out there, he was saying that basically Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback and Gardner Minshew would be just as good, basically. And Jalen Hurts' response to that in an interview was, "I'm worried about the Bears." And that made me, dude, this man, I can't get enough love for him out on this podcast. He hasn't done anything wrong.
The dude's as cool as the other side of the pillow. Like nothing phases him. He's not worried. Obviously, we saw the clip of AJ Brown and Quez, having fun on the sidelines during the win, and he's just locked the hell in, not phased by anything. He's exactly what you want in a leader. And that's something that I've noticed in him from the start. And, even when there were questions about Jalen Hurts' ability to throw the ball and to be an NFL starting quarterback, the thing that I looked at with him is that he has that, unspoken leadership quality that not everyone can just have. Like he has that it factor that only so many people have. And whether he was able to increase his ability to play and his IQ on the field, that was up to him.
Yeah.
But he already had the intangibles there to be a leader. And here we are, and he did his job and fixed what he had to fix. And now we have like an ultimate leader on our team, clearly, at least based off this season's gone. He's got a long career ahead of him. And, I expect nothing but success. But, he's that guy. Like he's going to be the glue to this team, staying together. And like you said, it's a reason I'm really not worried about the team falling apart and getting unfocused, because when the guy at the helm, the MVP, is, the one, the MVP, you heard me.
Can't wait to get into that.
It's hard not to listen to him at that point, like nobody's gonna, defer from his attitude going forward. So I'm confident that he can keep them in line and make sure that we move week to week, and we'll get to the Cowboys when we get to the Cowboys.
So Chris Sims bringing up a point. I know we had this argument a little bit before the episode, but I want to bring it to our viewers' point. That basically that Jalen Hurts more the side of Micah Parsons of he doesn't deserve if Gardner Minshew started, the Eagles would be just as good. / anyone could do this in our offense. And Matt, do you want to say your point for the viewers that you're going to take it back?
Well, I'm going to start by clarifying this, that the MVP debate has become very clouded because it kind of is wishy-washy in terms of how the most valuable player is decided, especially by fans. A lot of people will say it's by the best team. A lot of people will say it's by the player that played the best season stat-wise. A lot of people will say it's the person that did both winning and the stats. And then some people will say it's just the best player in the league. And that's where you get a little bit confused, because I think that's where Chris Sims is at, where Chris Sims is saying that he doesn't think Jalen Hurts is better than Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. And to an extent, I kind of think he's right. I kind of don't. There's no taking away from what Jalen Hurts has done this year. He is playing lights out. He's making all the right decisions, all the right throws. He's improved drastically. He's rushing, he's leading, he's doing everything right. And for that reason, I absolutely think he's the MVP this year. MVP is a year-to-year award, and my point here is that if I'm going to agree with Chris Sims to an extent, I'm just going to say that, like, obviously this is pretty general, but like if you put Joe Burrow behind the Eagles offensive line right now, he's probably also not going to have any losses on his record. If you put Mahomes behind the Eagles offensive line, we have the best offensive line in the league, and on top of that, Hurts has the most time in the pocket in the league. And that is going to make a difference. It makes your day a whole lot easier. So Hurts is doing it in a much easier situation than the other quarterbacks, which is where people's argument comes into play. That is he really better than Mahomes, Allen, Burrow? Personally, I don't. I don't. I think it's too soon to say. I do for a lot of them because they're Burrow's young, so is Hurts. Mahomes has proved himself. Josh Allen is on the verge of being completely proven. I think that some people have jumped the gun on him to an extent. He throws a ton of picks. He's a gunslinger. It's an iffy thing with him sometimes. But either way, my point is just that I do think that I don't think I would say that Hurts is better like as a player than as a quarterback than Burrow or Mahomes or Allen. But with that being said, by no means does that take away from the fact that he's MVP this year. This is his award. He has played the best this year on the best team. He has done nothing wrong, and he is leading. And like he's got the best resume, 100%. So yes, I do think Jalen Hurts is the MVP, and I think that he could be. I just don't want to jump any guns. Is my thing here. I think that he could be better than those guys if he keeps improving, but as of right now, no, not yet, not quite.
I just don't. So my point is basically my entire argument was that if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. Basically, like what if like don't like make me. It's if you're behind the offensive line, yes, it would. Obviously it matters. We had the best offensive line in the league, and you could say, what if Mahomes was back there? What if Tom Brady was back there? It doesn't matter. What if Tom Brady was on a different team? But even it's just he's done it, and it's his system. Like no matter what, it's his system. It revolves around him, and he's the one that starts it and finishes it. No matter what the system is, I know people you can say you can plug in anyone into it, but at the end of the day, he's the one running the entire system. So that's my only thing is obviously they have different aspects, but I think Jalen's thing about this offense that makes me like think he's more exceptional this year and maybe even better than especially Burrow because I know Mahomes and Josh Allen have better arm strength. I know that, and I know Josh Allen has the ability to run the ball. I know Mahomes has the keen ability where he can run, but he's not Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts' aspect that makes him like the MVP differential is his ability to be very elusive, almost to not a Lamar Jackson level of elusive, but his ability to take off and run and be able to stay in that pocket. And even when it does collapse, which it doesn't very often, and doesn't find an option downfield, he's able to take off and get the first down like a lot of the time. He'd even get those touchdowns. We're able to run those plays. And I don't know if Burrow could do that in there.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I granted, I do think that Burrow could do that. Maybe not to the extent that that Hurts does it, of course, because Hurts, feels like Hurts takes 2 steps and he's got a first down already. But I'm not necessarily saying that I'm not trying to take anything away from what Hurts has done, and that is not my point here. Like I said before, he is the MVP this year, and like you said, what ifs do not matter. It doesn't come into play. It's not an option. What he's doing this year, he's the best. No ifs, ands, or buts, I think. But that's not the way that fans are looking at it, not the way that Phil Simms is looking at it, not the way that Micah Parsons is looking at it. And that's just the point that I'm trying to put out there. It's just that, with these guys talking about it, they're saying that they don't think that Hurts is better than Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. Like, that's really their only point. And it's just their kind of way of, trying to, I guess, I don't know, settle people down off of it, like off the Eagles. Like, I don't know. For some reason, the Eagles always get the short end of the stick, and
All
we're
right, so
always.
my question is to you, Matt. What can he possibly do to make you think he's better than any of them? Can he do anything? Like physically do anything?
Well, if it were me, just based on this year, there are definitely that just comes down to our system a little bit, and that's the way it looks. Like, hold on, let me explain.
You're
Let
sounding like the media right now.
I know.
Like ESPN.
Just give me a second. I'm just saying, the thing that I think most people want to see from Hurts more is more passing yards. And that's where I'm saying the system comes into play, because it doesn't matter. That's why we're like, Matt, shut up for a second and let me speak.
I didn't say anything. I just had a facial reaction.
A lot of people just want to see more passing yards from him. I couldn't care less about that, because off of what he's doing, he is the MVP. For me, the only thing I want to see that I won't know until later is just more, if he can stay consistent with it. And I think he will. And I think that once people see him do it for another year, it'll be a whole different, like, this conversation will be irrelevant. I really do. I've told you a million times, and I brought it up on this podcast a million times, that before he got drafted, I thought he was going to be the steal of that draft, and he is. And I was right. And I stand firm on everything I ever said about Jalen Hurts. My point is just off of right now and what's going on. And like I said, I don't know whether to just call him. Like, there is no, fine line here. Like, he is better than them this year. So, like, it's, it's kind of just general talk. I don't know if I'm not explaining it right. Like, in general, I don't think he's quite yet better than Burrow, Mahomes, and Allen. But I do think, he might be better than Burrow. I don't know. I think Burrow is low-key the most complete passer in that group of people. Including Mahomes, but Mahomes is just a freak. I think he does freaky stuff. Mahomes is more creative. I think he's a little smarter, but I think Burrow I personally think Burrow has better tools as just throwing, but
better tools on offense too.
Yeah, exactly. So, regardless, my whole point here is just that people were so skeptical on Hurts coming into this season. He did his thing this year. People know that he's good now. Like, that is a fact. But the fact that skepticism was there before, people aren't necessarily just going to jump on the wave and say that he's better than these guys and he's going to be that guy that'll, start up a dynasty over there. That's my only point. People aren't sure yet because there was skepticism beforehand. I'm sorry I did a whole roundabout way of getting to that point.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's just like, there was skepticism, and there's still trails of it. And once people see consistency, that whole thing's going to change, and he'll always be in the conversation of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Well, at the end of the day, it all comes back to that. He's the MVP. We can both agree upon that at the moment. And he's on the best team in the league, which we are. Let's go back to the Bears real quick. So the Bears they won 1 out of the last 10. Fields has been playing very well. I can't really say anything else for anyone else. I mean, Montgomery's been fine. I mean, Mooney's hurt. Claypool has been non-existent since he's been signed. Cole Kmet's been the leading receiver other than Mooney. What do you have to say about that? That frightens you about this team because they don't have a defense. So
only one thing and one thing only, and it's their rushing, including the rushing coming from Justin Fields. The big key is going to be keeping Justin Fields in the pocket as much as possible, because you've seen when he does not get to rush the ball, they don't even come close. But I do think that they've got 2 good running backs, and based off of the way they've run the ball this year, I feel like it'd be kind of disrespectful to say that their O-line isn't good. So, in general, I think they have a pretty decent run game. Otherwise, we should have them fairly beat in every category. So, just like we were talking about before with the Giants, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. If the Eagles continue playing the game plan and the way they've been playing the past 3 weeks, there is not a team in the league that can beat them. Like, that will even come close. Like, I don't even think we would come into a close game with the way we've been playing. Now, granted, I don't think we're going to just keep dominating teams, but if we just keep that up, I know for a fact the Bears shouldn't be a problem. I'll put it that way.
And I'm gonna go off that point. I just completely agree that we won't lose this game because of them. Is my like gonna be my opinion this entire time. I just think.
Well, before you go anywhere, that's the whole season, and there has never been a point in this season that we should lose a game. The only game we lost was because of us.
That's
The
very
Commanders
true.
Commanders
It's
didn't
very
beat us.
weird.
We just beat ourselves.
I'm not used to being this good. I just don't.
It really is crazy. It's kind of baffling how good we actually are. I feel like
we
people
started
really
the podcast, and you guys don't even get to see me angry because I have nothing to complain about. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts. They really are. They're that good.
I have to be pessimistic because I have to. I'm waiting for the Philly collapse eventually, but I hope it doesn't never comes. But to the point I was trying to make was this Bears team has nothing going for them. Well, they're going for a high draft pick, and they clearly sold. Quinn to us, and then what's the linebacker's name? Their best, Roquan Smith. To the Ravens. And I don't like Eddie Jackson's fine on defense, but they're not good at all, and I don't know what they have to play for. I mean, they're at home, but other than that, I just don't think this Bears team has any capability of being in the same field as us.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Eddie Jackson's not playing anymore.
Is he not?
He's on the IR. Yeah, he needed to get surgery on his foot after last game. I thought I saw that he got hurt.
See,
that's just another reason that they're
exactly. This team does not. We should roll over them. I know Blankenship's out for us. Did you see that?
Yeah, we signed Anthony Harris.
Is he actually playing this week? Is he active?
I believe so. I would assume that's exactly why we signed him.
Also, a fantasy question for like me / Eagles podcast: is Goddard playing this week?
I'm pretty sure he is. As far as I was aware, he is.
He's practiced all week, but it was very up in the air if he was going to play /
probably going to be a game time decision. Yeah, I have a feeling. To be completely honest, I have a feeling he probably won't, mostly because we're playing the Bears.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. They might just give him the extra week of rest. But he's probably – I almost guarantee he's ready to play now. It's just kind of up to whether the Eagles want to use him or not.
Want to use him, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know the report that I'm reading right now is Wednesday he practiced, but they want to confirm whether he'll be active Sunday versus the Bears.
That's just literally them deciding if they want to give him an extra week of rest or not.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think they should, but they
probably should. Wouldn't hurt anything.
It's this game on paper seems to be an easy game, but it seems to be kind of a trap game. But
by no means do you've heard my thoughts a million times. No game in the NFL is ever an easy game.
Yeah.
It just isn't. The more easy you think it is, the less easy it is, 100%. And this game will probably end up being closer than we want it to be, just based off of that fact. But like, there's no other way there's nothing to talk about it. We should win this game. We absolutely dominate them on every aspect of the ball. Even their best part of their team doesn't add up to what we have on ours, in the same spot. So it's a game that we absolutely should win through and through. Like it should be a domination. I don't know if it will be or not. If they play the way they have been, it will be. If they, play a little stupid, a little sloppy, and they think that they're just going to get an easy win out of this, then it'll probably be a close game, and we might get ourselves in some trouble. But otherwise, there's really no reason to worry. That's for sure.
So, how do you see this game going? What's your final score prediction and that?
Based off of what I just said, I feel like I'm gonna have to give 2 score predictions here. Based on how the game goes. And I'll give the one that I think is more likely. I do think that we're going to blow them out because I don't think that we're going to play sloppily. And, I think that we had our moment of sloppiness early in the season. We went through that 3-game stretch where we were playing pretty bad. And I think that we woke up out of it. I'm hoping we don't revert to it, but I don't think that this week is that time. So I'm going to say that the score is going to be 35-13, maybe.
Wow.
And if the game goes the other way around, and we play sloppy, we turn the ball over, then I think it's going to be more like 24-17. Maybe 24-20.
I mean, I think that this game is one of those games where obviously we should be dominant, and I think we get up early, and I think it's personally going to be like the Detroit game earlier this year, and I don't think they're as good as a team as Detroit, and I don't think they should have the same score as Detroit, but I think it's going to be one of those games where we're up a lot, and then you look at the final score, you're like, why do we only win by 4? Like, and it's like you're like, why did that happen? And I just think it's going to be like for some reason, 32 popped their head for our team. I think it's going to be 32-28 for no reason because I said 4 points. I don't know what it is about. I mean, the Bears aren't good. Obviously, I think we're going to be up a lot at halftime, and I think we should dominate this team. It just, to me, it just scares me about. No, I can't even say it anymore, Matt. I can't even say that I'm worried about like looking ahead anymore. I can't say it. They've proven me wrong.
There's no reason to.
But listen, now that I said that, they're gonna just look ahead and everything. But no, they probably won't. They just been so good this year at doing it. Now I just have to admit they've just been not looking ahead, and it's been very good. And it just
absolutely. I also just want to give a quick update to fans while it popped up on my phone.
Yeah,
the Vikings are down 23-0 to the Colts right now, with 10 minutes left to go in the first half.
Yeah, goodbye my survivor pool, guys. I don't know why I chose the Vikings, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
also, Jonathan Taylor's out, right now, by the way. So bye my fantasy playoffs as well.
Ouch.
Not that I deserve to even be in that playoff, but whatever.
Well, aside from Masley's depression from fantasy, let's move into our picks for this week. We're each going to drop 3 picks as always. So, Maz, let's start with you. Do you have your 3 picks?
I do have my 3 picks. So the first team I'm going with is honestly the same reason I'm scared of the Eagles. And it's going to be against the Cowboys. I'm taking the Jags plus the 4. And this line is pretty short, honestly, for just the Cowboys in general. I mean, even though they're at Jacksonville, Jacksonville's home field advantage doesn't matter. But I'm just taking them plus 4 because I think the Cowboys are so focused on us. I think they're hyper focused on us. They almost lost to the Texans. And Matt, we didn't talk about it enough. They almost lost to the Texans. I'm going to actually find the exact time they scored that touchdown. It was literally with 10 seconds left, and no one talks about
10 seconds.
It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I just like to let people keep talking because it's going to make it all that much better when we whoop their ass on Christmas Eve.
I'm hoping I think that Jags are just disrespected, and I mean the line isn't disrespecting them, but I just think that the Cowboys are going to lose and finally like go, oh crap, oh we lost that game. All right, focus on the Eagles. Hyper focus on the Eagles. My next pick is going to be a pick that isn't good for Eagles, but I don't think the Falcons are good at all. And I know Mariota's not starting, and they have Ritter now. So I'm going with the Saints minus 4. It might be kind of square, but I mean the Saints aren't a good team, but I just think this Falcons defense is horrific. I don't think they're a good team at all.
Definitely is.
And I just don't think the Falcons are a good team. I think even though they're a game away from tying the division, because the Bucs are just gonna get in the playoffs and have the 4 seed for no apparent reason because their division sucks.
It's unbelievable.
I wish they didn't make it. And then, hey Matt, you want to hear? You ready for this pick? You can probably guess it. I've been on them all year, and I hate this team, but I just don't think the Cardinals are gonna beat the Broncos, and it's 1.5 now or 2. You can give me 2.5.
Just want to remind you that Russell Wilson isn't playing either.
I don't care. I think that makes me feel better. I think that makes me feel 100 times better. Actually, now I'm riding with the Broncos. Broncos country, we're going to do it. Not let's ride. Whatever his name is who's starting for them. I don't even know who's starting for them.
I got no idea.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going with the Broncos. Take it to the bank. Got it. So my picks are Broncos, Jags, and why did I just forget and Saints? Sorry, that's what I got on the slate.
Solid slate. All right. Well, for the Money Mitch slate this week, because I need to make a little bit of a comeback and increase my lead on Maz here again. He's
I'm
starting
coming back.
to.
We've got 3-0.
Yeah,
He's
he's
going
coming
0-3, and
back.
we're
He's
going to be
catching up on me.
tied.
So this week I'm going to start with a bit of a tough one. I'm going with tonight's game, Dolphins versus the Bills.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Bills -7 on this one because I think that the Dolphins are a little bit pretend. I don't think they're as good as everybody's thought they were this year. I know they beat the Bills earlier this season, and I think they did it while they were on their absolute hot streak. And lately, I think they're on nothing but a cold streak. I think that they're looking more like the team I expected them to look like. And I think that, this is going to be the time that it kind of shows. So I'm going to go with the Bills -7. I'm pretty confident in that spread.
Tua looked really bad last Sunday night.
Yes,
Just saying.
did.
I'm just saying that from a football aspect. I'm a Tua guy, and that made me throw up. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that would just – I just
It was
have to say
atrocious. Yeah, it was
I watched
terrible.
the entire game. That was so bad.
For my second pick, I'm going to be going with the Lions +1 against the Jets.
Wow.
Jets are going to be playing without Mike White. They're starting Zach Wilson again. The Lions have been on an absolute tear, 5-1 in their last 6 games. They are one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, and I think that they can handle that one. I think that I do think the Jets have a good defense, but not quite good enough to handle the whole game with Zach Wilson at the helm. I just don't think Zach Wilson's good. So sorry, Mike. So for my third pick, I'm going to be going with the Patriots +1.5 versus the Raiders. The Raiders always get the line for some reason because they have Devontae Adams, I'm pretty sure, but they're really not a good team. I don't like the coach over there. I don't think Derek Carr's a winner, unfortunately, because I actually like Derek Carr, but he's not a winner.
You hate him because he cries too.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be a man. Stop crying. But anyway, for real, I do think that the Patriots, they've been playing strong lately, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. They've got everything to lose, so they're going to be playing at the top of their game. And I just don't think the Raiders at any point this season have played at the top of their game. So I'd be really surprised to see it be this week. So those are my picks. So I said the Patriots, I said the Bills, and I said the Lions. You heard it here first.
All right. Hey, I kind of don't hate it, honestly, but I honestly I would take I kind of want to can I switch to Broncos and Jets? Am I allowed to do that?
Sure.
Just so we go head to head. We got to go head to head one time.
Sure.
I'm going to take the Jets. Ride the Jets, even though the team's hot. I don't know why I did that. No,
you can't take it back now. That you only get one.
Now that I did it, I can't go double reverse.
You only
so
get
now
one.
I'm taking the Jets. I think that defense is fine. I don't like Zach Wilson either. Whatever. I just hated that pick. Damn it. I can't bet on the Broncos. You're right. I'm not allowed to take the Broncos anymore in this podcast.
Neither one's great for you, so
locking the Jets. We're locking in the Jets. Maybe it'll work out good. All right. Yeah. That's my lock.
Man. Well, thanks again for tuning in, guys. The Eagles are 12-1, looking to go 13-1. Jalen Hurts is looking to grab that MVP award, and hopefully we can sail into the playoffs as a 1 seed and catch that Super Bowl, because right now it's looking like we're the favorites.
It's scary. I'm scared.
Yes, it is. It's scary. It's just as scary to be good as it is to be bad sometimes,
It's better, but it makes me a little bit nervous.
You always wonder when that time might come that they'll just, fall apart. But this team looks pretty damn legit. I'm really not too worried about it.
Very happy about it. Well, I know it's been a short episode. I know we didn't talk a lot about the Giants, guys, but it was just straight domination. So
and there it is. All right, guys. Once again, I'm Matt Mitchell. This is Stephen Masley, and we will catch you back again next week, hopefully with another dub. Adios and go Birds.
Peace.